I would like to show you how our pepper and eggplant seedlings are coming along. We also started loofah and ginger and sweet potatoes. So I thought it'd be nice to check with you. I am recovering from shoulder surgery and I will tell you how that's going. Hi guys, this is Carice at Scofield Farm, and as you can see, I am post-surgery. Thank you for those of you who've watched my recent videos and have prayed for me while I was in surgery. I had surgery Monday, early afternoon, about 12:30 is when they took me in, and they did a repair of my shoulder. It is from a car accident I was in 2022 in May, so a year and a half ago, that never fully resolved for my shoulder. All the other issues had resolved. We'd already closed the case, but my shoulder would not stabilize and be able to re-strengthen. So I had to have surgery. We did MRI, did, the whole thing. And I'm really thankful that it looks like there's, what the surgeon worked on. I'm going to be able to slowly recover, but actually make the full recovery that I was not able to make from the car accident, get my shoulder stabilized and strengthened to really do the things that I want to do. I love to live an active lifestyle, and this has really helped me back. I had a back injury in 2019. So 4 years ago, end of 2019, I ruptured a disc in my lower back, and that really set me behind too. So it's been like 4 years of some physical stuff that affect me not only in the garden, but in my just active life with 7 kids. I love to run. I love to hike. I would love to play pickleball with them. I obviously love to garden. I like to take care of the compost and do the shoveling and turning, and that has not been possible for a while. I have been drinking a mug of bone broth. I had 2 yesterday. That is one of the fun things about homesteading and already being, seasoned in making a lot of this stuff ourselves. I've been making stuff in our kitchen like yogurt and bone broth and sauerkraut and elderberry syrup and all that kind of stuff for, goodness, like 18 years or so. So I had bone broth, of course, simmering already before the surgery, and I've been able to benefit from that really nice, healing, warm, comforting liquid right after surgery. And it's a lot on your body, and so it's so great how healing bone broth is. This contraption that I'm in is super huge. It is basically so I will not roll or move my shoulder at all. And even though it's uncomfortable, it's comforting that I'm not going to accidentally rotate out my shoulder and injure it and not let, the sutures actually heal. I have this thing on my shoulder that is an ice machine that has been super helpful. I'm also taking Zofran and the pain medications, on just the schedule they say to stay ahead of the pain right now, especially during the first part, and I'll wean off of those as soon as I can, but the first part can be kind of brutal. I want to show you my seed starts, the peppers and eggplant and stuff that we started about a week ago, a little bit longer than a week ago. They're doing so great. So many of them are coming up. They seem to really like the heat mat. This is the first time I used a heat mat with my peppers, and I know that's recommended, but I've grown peppers for quite a while not doing a heat mat. So it feels like germination is stronger and faster, and there's still things popping up even today. I bet you there'll be a dozen more that pop up in each tray. It's pretty encouraging. I want to show you that and just how we have it situated. I did use heat mats last year with my tomatoes, but I bought them right before my tomatoes. They're not that expensive, but it's just every little bit of investment we have to measure out and pace out because we really want our garden to be a blessing and not a burden to our finances. So we just add things slowly as we're able to. And that was something we added last year after our peppers, unfortunately, but still we got a benefit with tomatoes from it last year. And this year, the peppers and eggplant are finding benefit. And I'm excited to show you how they look. Let's take a look at these plants because they're doing so well under the lights and on the heat mats. I'm gonna have to figure out how to open this one-handed for you, but we have them on these heat mats. We put cardboard underneath to help the heat go up instead of into the shelf. I have tin foil over the lights to help intensify the light and direct it into the trays. It feels like, you know, those seedlings are pretty small, far away from the lights, and I don't want them to get leggy. So we're probably going to take all of these covers, the humidity domes, off and maybe move quite a few of the trays closer to the light, or even move some of them up here to this shelf of lights. In this tray, we have our sweeter peppers like the Yolo, Wonder Red, the Blocks, the Banana, Corono, Corbaci, Sunbright, and a Yellow Bell from Howden Gardens, and they all are doing pretty good. There are some patches here in the middle, I think, that need to germinate still, so I'm gonna have my husband spray them with a water bottle, but you see a lot of these have at least one or two that are coming up already. I planted 2 in each cell. That's pretty great and encouraging. The cups on this one are all, I think, ungerminated, but they're the hottest ones that take a long time. Like those Carolina Reapers could take 4 weeks to germinate, even with a heat mat. So I'm not worried about that at all. I'm just really encouraged how well they're doing. I'm trying to keep an eye on them not getting too leggy and deciding, you know, when we take the humidity dome off and not. Some people germinate their seeds without using humidity domes at all. For me, that's never done super great with peppers. Sometimes they'll come up and then that seed casing will never come off and they'll just get stuck there. Maybe because we live in a really dry climate and even our heat inside our house is pretty dry. So I'm trying to kind of leave that on there as long as I can to get the best germination for each pepper. And, you know, I realized if I have to take it off, if I get 1 per cell versus 2, I still will be happy. But the more that I can get, it's better. In this tray, the Jimmy Nardello haven't come up at all, which is kind of surprising and disappointing. So we definitely need to have that part on the heat more. We're sharing 2 heat mats with 3 trays, so that could be part of it. Everything else is looking pretty good. I have Pekinho and Pasilla. Pasilla are kind of slow, but I see 1 coming up right there. We have the Ancho Isley Wax, which is actually not true to an Isley Wax, but I love it. Someone gave me Safe Seeds. Our Serranos always germinate just great. And I think I have Santa Fe, Cayenne, Scotch Bonnet, then 1 Ralph Thompson coming up there. In the back there, the Ghost Peppers that are from Saved Seed from a friend of mine. Those are doing great. The Thai Dragon are doing great. Looks like a couple are fuzzing up like they're gonna try to come up. So this tray overall is doing really good in germination, just except those Jimmy Nardello. So I wanna make sure that section is definitely on the heat. I don't think they're too leggy yet, so I think we've got a little bit of time on this tray. It seems like this tray's actually done even the best. It looks like every cell of jalapeno has 1 or 2 in it. Come up already. I have shishito. Those all look wonderful. What is this one? The paprika doesn't look that great, so that's the only line there that looks like it's getting a little slower. But what is that? Anaheim Sugar Rush Peach. Those all look really good. And I even have some loofah coming up. And I do want to get those maybe under another light because those can really have potential to get leggy. Some of my eggplant. That's eggplant there. That's the new really pretty colored eggplant, the Rosa Blanca. And my Pingtung doesn't look like it's come up yet, but I'm not worried about it. We still have a lot of time. And those cups are going to be easier to keep on heat and in a dome than this huge 60 cell. That's the thing that I kind of want more of them all on the same pace before taking them off of the heat or out from under the humidity domes. So they're looking pretty good, aren't they? I'm pretty encouraged, and we always start our peppers in January, but we usually start them at the end of January because of my surgery and just knowing how many peppers I start. It's like 33 varieties and so many seeds and stuff. My husband's gonna have to help me enough with me being one-armed, doing this gardening thing and getting things ready for the spring, that I thought if I started those myself before the surgery, it's not that much earlier, you know, since we already do January, that would maybe help save him a little bit of hassle. I'm hoping to do my tomatoes like either the last week of February or first week of March. I'm kind of figuring I usually plant them out in the middle or end of April, so that gives me plenty of time for them to germinate, to grow, to do really well, to harden them off. And maybe that helps buy some time so I can be more involved in doing it one-handed. Now, we'll have to cup up these peppers before I'm fully even probably skilled one-handed. So I'm going to probably rely on some of my kids, my husband to help a lot with that, and maybe even show you clips of that along the way. But yeah, I just want to give you an update and thank you guys so much for praying, and I really appreciate it. And even while I'm probably going to be posting a little bit less often on here, just as I allow my body to rest and heal, this would be a great time to take a moment, and when you might want to look back at some of my older videos and see some stuff from this time last year, what we were doing and what our winter garden was looking like, and even look back at some of our beautiful summer stuff. Maybe you weren't on our channel back then and you can see what our summer garden looks like and have a little foreshadowing of what I hope it looks like again this year. I hope you guys are all doing well. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And again, thank you for being here with me, and I will see you soon.